that's 3 dimensions away from Batman Arkham Asylum being adapted into a movie. I'm your host, 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Batman Arkham Asylum, released in 2009. Batman Arkham Asylum is a game that was developed by Rocksteady Games and basically is considered one of the greatest Batman games of all time. Not the greatest, that still goes to Arkham City, but still a great Batman game altogether. He said the game essentially is a game where the Joker has been apprehended and Batman brings him to Arkham Asylum, and of course the Joker plots to escape, and then of course frees all the inmates. So now it's up to Batman, who basically has left with no allies, no help, to be trapped in basically the Joker's playground, essentially, because Arkham Asylum, who Joker has been there 1,000 times, knows how the place works, where all the guards are, where the guns are, knows who is dirty, who's not, because the Joker's been there so much. So it's his playground, and essentially all the foes you have to battle are there, and you're basically a one-man army that has to escape the madness, if you will. The game features voice actors from Batman the Animated Series, such as the late, great Kevin Conroy, who returns once again as Batman to lend his voice. Also, the great Mark Hamill returns to voice the greatest character of all time, the Joker. And of course, Arlene Sorkin returns as Harley Quinn as well, And so the game, as well as a couple of other actors, are returned from the animated series as well to voice their respected characters. The game is essentially, a open. I wouldn't say an open world, but an open map in a sense of hub world, where basically you're a third-person game where you're playing as Batman. You go around trying to collect Riddler trophies and riddles and mysteries, and you have to collect mysteries, and you essentially have to, use detective vision, where it's like, kind of like in the sonar mode from The Dark Knight. Essentially, this game was originally meant to be a tie-in game to the 2008 film, but then as they were developing it, and then by the time they said it would take and release, it would be around 2009, so they said just cancel it. But instead of canceling it, them and another studio reworked it into an original game, Arkham Asylum. So essentially, and I'm not saying like the game itself was meant to be, but I'm saying a lot of the mechanics and stuff were from that game, that they brought it over into this game, which I'm glad, because this game is a great game. I mean, I think this is a perfect starting point for a game. I mean, the game, you essentially go and you do detective, and you'll hide over here, and you'll hear these thugs talking, and it'll just be bantering back and forth, and you're just like, oh my god, what are they talking about? And you just sit there for a while and just hear like lots of dialogue choices of what they're saying, and then you can just go, or you can just go knock them out, and also you can gargoyle around statues like Batman, and even do upside down, and they'll just be scared of you, like, where's he at, and it's like you are fear essentially to them. And basically the whole map is Arkham Asylum Island. You walk around the island, they got, your intensive treatment, where, that's where the Joker and all them are, basically, like, that's where the Joker's cells are, and you basically have to go through there and rescue, like, hostages and stuff, and, then of course you got over here, you got, like, the Botanical Gardens, where Poison Ivy is, where essentially, she escapes from another part of the prison, where you have to go over here and rescue, and you have to fight her as a bad guy. And then of course you have Scarecrow, who is over here by the coroner's office, where you have to go over here, and he puts you through these fear maps that you have to go through, and they're so great because you go through the fear maps, and the maps as you go through, like, their fear, basically conquering your fears in a way, and it's so great. And also they just have these other side missions in the game that you have to do, where you're like, oh, you have to go rescue this character, and essentially I think you have this great boss battle with the Joker, who also, there's a Bane level in the game, which is really cool. And I think also you have a great level, just a great, and I mean great, fight with the Joker. And there's even a creepy game part where Killer Croc is trying to kill you in the sewers, and because you go all the way to the sewers, and you go over here and over here, and you have to be careful and quiet because Killer Croc can hear you from motion, and it's just so great about this. And you also have this like makeshift bat cave in the Arkham Island, where you go there and you can, and it's so cool to have a bat cave there, and You know, you also the Batmobile's in the game, but you don't get to play it. You just walk up to it, and then eventually it just like you push a button, and then the Batmobile gets destroyed. You know, and there are all these cool Easter eggs in the game, like oh, this is the Riddler Easter egg. This is a Harvey Dent Two-Face Easter egg, Mister Freeze Easter egg. Oh, this is a Clayface Easter egg. And, oh, this is an Easter egg for a penguin, and all this cool stuff. And so even somebody, this game is really hardcore. People die in this game. You know, like you see dead bodies, they don't say deceased. And there's even an explosion where this lady Penelope Young opens, or Amanda, is it Amanda Young or Penelope Young? She opens it up, and this gets blown up, and then, you know, basically she's dead the whole game. There's a dead body laying there, and every time you come out, she's just staying there dead. And also, there's even secrets to what game they're building in the future, Arkham City, where you just spray paint like a bat symbol on there. Of course, this is with the 360 and PS3 versions. This is not with the remaster Arkham. The new Return of Arkham editions. They don't have this in the Return of Arkham edition, but if you play this in the PS3 and Xbox 360 version, they have this. Where if you go into the warden's office, and you'll spray paint a bat symbol and blow it up, a wall will blow up, and then you'll go and they'll see plans for Arkham City, which is really cool. These Easter eggs and attention to detail is great. I love how you could just go over here and you'll see like, oh, this is this and this is this, and you'll see like all the Joker thugs and everything. You'll even see like, like Mark Hamill is superb as the villain of this game. You'll even have great Harley Quinn's great in this game too, and I love there's even like things like the creepiest level is when you're walking. This is a Scarecrow mission where you're walking down there and you see your parents' dead bodies, and you even think Commissioner Gordon's dead, but it's all just like fear toxin. And I like how the music doesn't really play; it just feels like a horror film. That just to me, it feels like you are hell on earth. And this game is morally based off the graphic novel Arkham Asylum, the novel. I had to look over there because that's where the novel was. I had to look at the novel. I was like, yeah, by Grant Morrison. And so basically, this game, the novel. I am not a fan of the novel that much because it's just mostly picture obscure paintings of things. It's not really like a novel, and so, but it's a really fun game. Like I really had fun with it. It's so you might get bored playing it after you beat the mission, but it's still fun because you get to walk around Arkham Asylum. And after the game ends, you can just walk around and collect the Riddler trophies you didn't get to get. You can walk around and do this, and like you can just walk around, glide, and upgrade your abilities, and and just all cool things. There's also like a lot of skill trees that you can build up to where you can collect trophies of your characters. That way you can basically re-up it. You can basically that way you can upgrade. You can look at trophies almost like action figure 3D models of yourself. And like, oh look, that's a 3D model of the Joker. That's a 3D model of the Batwing, and that's the 3D model of the Batmobile, and all this cool stuff. And you even like, I even like how they have pictures of like when you go to their bio to look at them, because you collect Riddler trophies and you collect these little tapes, and that you can hear like them being all the villains that are at the asylum being interviewed, and like it shows like cartoon drawings of them, and I think that's so neat, and attention to detail is great. And it gives you like almost like a baseball card of all their information of like, hey, when was this created and all this, what year and all this stuff. And it's really great, and I really appreciate it. The attention to detail is amazing. This game is a fantastic game, and I've always loved playing it. Is it better than Asylum? No. A City? No, it's not better than City, but it is a fantastic game. And as a first game start, I have to give this a solid 9.9 out of 10.